Hello, everybody. This is Juice Monster 88 here. Here I am. The first episode I'm going to call is Let's Be Honest. When I'm talking about my opinions and little facts of opinions about something that's kind of on my mind. And I've been wanting to talk about this topic right here that I've been new for a very long time. And since then, about the incident, just kind of like really bugs me about it. I've been new about the whole thing about the incel thing. Yes, I'm talking about incels, involuntary celibates. You know, to be honest with you, I have been researching the incel people about a very long time, about 8 years. And since of the involuntary celibate, they just very low-key people. I remember a couple years ago, before I researched about this group called TFL, stands for True Force Loneliness. And that's what I know about it. And then there's other words of definition of it, trying to find a definition of it, about what's going on the root of it. And I watched that videos and try to like research them and try like the solution, what's the problem. Because sometimes I'm going to say right now, I can relate to the problems I had. But here's the thing. Everybody might label as an incel, but I'm not. I chose not to become a vet because I used to felt bitter about things about that. I used to felt that way. But, I choose to be better myself and try and move forward for ourselves. You just can't stuck in his head in your mind because just because you didn't getting poontang, that means it doesn't mean you're a failure. You're not. You just felt frustrated, bitter. I know what it's like, personally. Yes, I heard about this whole voluntary celibate thing though, and I've been researching them for a very long time. And I knew y'all for, but if you guys out there who just like about the thing is like, oh, you don't know about this, no, I knew because I felt it. I've been there, done that, and I move on from it, try and move forward with it. And okay, so here it is about this incels are the online subculture whose members are, it's an unlike subculture of members that defines themselves as unable to find romantic or sexual partner despite one that is described as inceldom. Self-described incel, but exclusive male, mostly heterosexuality, describes in forms and its characteristics by resented, mishopping, misogyny, racism, entitled sex, and endorsement of violence against sexual active women and men of successful men, aka successful active women, Stacy's, and the most noticeable enemy of all, the most sexual successful man, so-called Chads. Now, this one, I know the media was talking about this, was like, oh, the male supremacy group and everything. That's all bullshit. The truth is, they just bitter as sexually frustrated men who did not get what they wanted and everything else. Like life, though, you don't get what you want. Sometimes I hate to say this, though, I'm gonna be blunt about this. Personally, I know it's hard for me to say this bluntly, but you guys really need to get over it. Because all the stuff around here and all the things you went through with it, you better use it as a tackling fuel. But you choose to let it be bitter. I know what it's like to be bitter. I've been there and done that, and I move on from that. And I chose not to be part of that group. I chose not to be part of that problem. It's because I'm better than this. And so do you. But y'all don't want to get out of that because you still have that anger and that bitterness. But I have 75% of it to move on, and 30% bitterness, or 20% of me in bitterness, try and work on and try and move forward with it. But the thing is, for me, is though, you can't just be like this to yourself like that. Y'all better than this. Y'all better than everything around here. If you think about things as true for you, well, guess what? You may be right. But don't let that right to be wrong. Be wrong about this one because it's really understandable what y'all go through. But I have to tell you about this. And you want to say looks do matter? Well, guess what? You're right. Looks do matter. And your truth. Because everybody's going to complain about this. So let me tell you one thing. Yes, it's about genetics. It's about all the stuff who could be the best of it. But I just say this. I hate to say this. It's going to hurt me. But women are the choosers. And the man they choosing who could provide for them, who could provide in the future. Not just some cosy sweetheart talk about that. You got to do more than just that. I know that for a fact about that. And that's why we need to do better ourselves. And somehow, that you have this audacity to go on angrily because you are influenced by that pathetic, whiny-ass Elliot Rodger. Yes, I call him the most pathetic characteristic character is. And there's one that's before Elliot Rodger. There's other ones before that. But there's one thing, it really got me to do this research about them. It's one person who did all this back in the day. I think it was somewhere in August in 2008 or whatever. It's the incident with George Sathini at the LA Fitness Club shooting when he shot in the yoga class, killed all the girls in there. Some of the girls in there. And that one got me interested about the fact about the whole thing. And I remember people talk about that. And they go, oh shit. That's like what happened. I heard about the Elliot Rodger thing. They got talk about that. And they put this a hashtag, all yes, all women, hashtag not all men shit. But let me tell you about, recently the freaking incident what happened to Elliot, to that thing in Toronto, just really bugs me about that. It does, because this content idea I was working on for 5 months, has something to do with incels, has something to do with chads. Yes, I was making a 5-episode CAW show, and now it's in question jeopardy since that incident, and I have to wait, and I'm still working on it, but it felt like it's now in jeopardy because I don't know if I want to release it or not. Like I'm about to think about releasing what I'm about to say about you guys, but I'm not trying to hurt you guys, and I'm not trying to be even you guys. I can sympathize with it, but I try not to be sympathized, but I try and sympathize because I went through that. But I move forward from that, and y'all can too. If you want to think of the looks matters to you, that's your truth. You look at it, because if you look at that way, the more blindly delusional you are. I'm sorry, but I understand you go through, but you have to be better yourself. You have to get something better. You get something better. You are to blame for yourself. You gotta take responsibility and accountability yourself. That's just a fact of life. Don't just get mad and get triggered about this. I understand there's a blame of it, and somehow all this stuff is say feminism and all that stuff, feminism, SJWAR, all that bullshit ass pseudo philosophy, power bullshit that people been doing out there. Yes, I say the feminists, the SJWs, ARs, all this stuff around there, y'all are creating pseudo power bullshit to yourself to deny yourself of your own destiny. You guys made yourself your own worst enemy. Just because y'all frustrated, y'all bitter, y'all get upset, and y'all get so fucking absurd about it, but you realize that the one person you should look under the blame is you. It's all you. I hate to tell you this, but it is the truth. We're in the middle of children history of the man and women felt like we have a purpose in life and just so lost because we on the great war we fight to fight the idiocracy of pseudo power, people who wants to create a denial reality. Most importantly, it's ourselves. We trying to fight the pseudo bullshit and trying to make the clear smoke of it. The thing is, y'all creating more smoke on yourselves. Y'all creating more smoke around the air. You had no place to clear it. The only way you can clear it is to admit things. Admit your responsibility. Admit your faults. And I'm trying to sympathize, but I have to get you out of this. I know how it feels. It's just that I've been working this content I've been working on Chapters Incel just to diagnose it, to give you an inspiration to try to get you out of that. Now, you could call me a volcel. Maybe I am a voluntary celibate. But I admit that. Maybe you should call me a V-cell, because that's what I am, a V-cell. Because I chose to. Because I got better at something else to do. I could work with it. I could be friend in a relationship with a woman if I want to. I don't have to be sexually like, hey, you don't mind if you can suck my dick and stuff like that. Please, I will. If you don't, I'll call you a bitch forever. You need to stop that shit. I know what's like. I'm sorry for saying this. But the thing is, it's you. You need to get out of that shit. Because it will lead you nowhere. It'll create more dark smoke around you. I know it's that. It's always gonna fuck you up big time, and you had nothing to blame but yourself. And let me tell you something. All this pseudo power we did to ourselves and so much bullshit we doing ourselves as Americans, they're not laughing with us. They laughing at you of your bullshit. That's why they always bashing you with that. And you're supposed to have, in this era right now, a patheticacy of millennials, even I to say I'm ashamed for a millennial, but I'm a millennial who wants to do something better. And I want to show the old school with new school stuff, but I guess people today don't want to do that. I mean, not all people, but some people. Even me, I had to do what I had to do to take responsibility, what I had to do with myself. That's just part of life. That's the way to make you free. And I guess that people don't want to live in denial and create this whole stronghold, my dad told me, though. It's to call strongholds. They try to do it. As long as the way to defeat the stronghold is to admit our responsibility, our faults. False responsibility from that Will Smith video. But I understand where you're coming from, guys. It's just that you got to be responsible what you think. You need to look yourself in the mirror. Maybe I'm fucked up and I'll try to do better. But there's the things you can do. Now me, I could have been a keyboard warrior. Here's the thing. Get out of your freaking keyboards, get out of your goddamn keyboard space, and try to find a job. Like me, I couldn't make videos all day, every day. But no, I don't have time for that because I had, what's it called? Responsibilities. Like I had to go to work. I had to take care of my family. That's everything else. And just one thing we need to learn is to be grateful. Everybody looks at being single as a bad thing. They may look at it as one, if they idiocracy, they look at it, but sometimes you gotta learn to be grateful of things, even though you can get things you want, but sometimes the small percentage which you want, and take that small percentage, and increase the growth of it, and be grateful of it. I think the thing is, for me to personally, is I'm not trying to bash you, I'm not trying to I want to help you. I'm one of those guys too, but I decided to move on, move forward. But I'm not let bother me. Hell, I learned to defend myself. Even not fighting physically, but mentally. Every time. We have to not only prepare ourselves mentally, or not like some freaking defensivism, but we have to be prepared for ourselves. Grow a thicker skin. In this generation, you had no choice to grow a thicker skin billion times more. Not millions, billion times. And that tuck us so bad, it's something stuck up tight of our ass so bad, the skins will rip out of our own sockets and we fall down dead to the ground. Like a heart attack. Personally, here's the things you can do. I linked down the description below of this Dr. Page Nerdlove or something. I forgot his name. Hold on. Let me say his name right, though. Yeah, Dr. Nerdlove. It's about how to solve the incel problem. Now, the things he's talking about are exactly what I did years ago. The thing, I got a job, I was very happy, I was grateful. And then what's the next level to go to? The conventions, like nerdy conventions. Go to those. You incels or nerd incels, find a local convention. Find something you could do. Or matter of fact, this is gonna hurt me more. Why don't you go with someone who has the same level as you? If you don't like the way the same level as you, then change your improvement in yourself. Do something to improve in yourself, or just be happy you're single and do something to make you better yourself. Sometimes I'm blessed to be single and I could do whatever I want. I could choose to be like I want to be with a relationship. I can choose I want to be if I'm ready. If I choose to get all this bullshit in behind and try and move forward yourself, I would. You would too. And I believe in y'all you can do that. You see, I'm not trying to bash y'all. I want you to get out of this pseudo power bullshit out of your head and trying to move forward. That's how winning is due. You just can't point fingers, play the blame game. The blame game is over. We can't do the blame game no more. It's just that you had to. The end game, the blame game is over. You got to stop doing this to yourself. That's how you got sicker. That's how you fell down to the ground, die younger, or worse. You got to get that shit out of your head. It's a fact of life. Now, it kind of made me I'm ranting around like a freaking character from Radio Talk. The part he was talking about the whole thing, he's a hypocrite himself. He's talking about the reason that we suck and him sucks too. Which I recommend you see that movie Radio Talk. That's kind of remind me of this doing right now. You see, us human beings in this generation, we became our own inner worst enemy. Just because we want to prove somebody, just because we want to bash somebody, sometimes we're going to try to prove a point of everything, how idiocracy we all are. But we're human beings, goddammit. Learn from it. We're not trying to say, hey, to be a tough guy, don't take no. I'm just telling you to be human. Stop becoming a monster. For those who fight monster, you never want to become one yourself. That's one that scares me. Another thing is, I'm even not a Christian. I am a Christian guy, but this one verse of the Bible I like. Matthew 16:26. What is a man who profits gains the whole world, that he loses his soul, and what a man could do for exchange for his soul? That's my favorite verse in the Bible, even though I'm not a Bible type of person, but that's the verse I like so much, to be honest. But this is something that you had to make a decision yourself. You need to get that incel demon out of your system and try and do something better yourself. Don't stuck in that mindset. I know what it's like. But I pressed on and kept moving forward. So, here's something you can do. You can look in the video of How to Solve the Incel Problem by Dr. Nerdlove, which I recommend. He was there and asked a good point. And don't listen to ones who saying like, oh, here's the weights and stuff like that. They made a good point, but sometimes you really need to change your attitudes. That's the big, big problem. We take things for granted and we turn it into an attitude and think we're so entitled to everything. We're never entitled to other things. We're entitled to some things. The only thing you're entitled is your opinion, but you're entitled to other things unless you work for it. Another thing, it's like something like it's like conditional love. Yeah, conditional love is true love. I hate to say it, but it's a fact. The only way you can earn that unconditional love, you have to take work in unconditional love to make yourself better to earn that unconditional. That's how you did it. Like same thing if you complain about did not have that much contract money you have, but you take the contract money to have and increase of it with your own investment. And then you'd be better. You got to invest yourself to be better, people. This is not the way. It never has been. Now, yes, I know there's some things I really out here. I know some people might say, oh, yeah, fuck that. Fuck that shit. Fuck that whole pseudo power identity politics bullshit. That needs to stop. Because that will lead y'all nowhere but your short damn ass lives of a fucking heart attack. And short damn lives of fucking stroke heads and fucking like having a freaking high blood pressure. Or even worse, our own heart attacks because we're on worse end because we worry about two things of it. That's just a fact of it. Now, this is something that's different. I've been wanting to talk about this since that incident, and I've been wanting to do this content, but since that's in jeopardy, that I was thinking about doing it, I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I'm not, but I have to release some things and make things cool down to give some people life lesson. I still have a long way to go. It's not only an update, but I have to talk and be honest about that. So, incels, if you take this video as an incel, don't. You can press like dislike all you want, but that's the truth what I'm telling you. But you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and try and be things. Stop, get that Chad Stacy stereotype out of your head. Trying to be outside, be more open. It's hard to be open. Yes, it's hard to be open, man. I agree with that 100%. Sometimes you can be open, but don't be too open. That's the thing that happens, that get us, because we're too damn open ourselves, and that's how y'all got your downfall. Trying to keep things to yourself, and trying to work things yourself, and trying to get better. That's how much I'm going to say. Guys, I know this is a bit different for me if I'm doing this video. I've been holding this for a very long time about this whole group. And I've been holding about this thing since it's kind of bugging me since what happened at Toronto. All hearts out there to the family who lost in life. I'm really sorry what happened. You lost. I really do. And also the ones who have passed who have been killed by the incel idiocracy killers just because they bitter and frustration. You're not the problem. They're the problem. Incels, you're the problem to yourself. And you let the problem of the other person get into you. And now it has become your problem. Don't let it be your problem. You are way better than this. You are way, way good too much stuff than this. You got some attribute. You just got to find it. You found something that you could talented. Work on it. Like me, I've been trying to work on something new, like trying to work on new content every day. It's frustrating as hell, but it's a one hell of a great challenge. Even I had some setbacks. Even I had some little excuses, but I can't make excuses. I can have setbacks, but I can't make excuses. So I'm doing it, but it's how you're going to execute. That's the fun part, how you're going to make things work. It takes time. You can't just release it one way. It's like releasing a product that's completely broken, and then you don't take time to your product, it's gonna be trash. You gotta take time yourself to fix yourself. It's like you gotta take time yourself to make the product better. That's what I'm gonna say. So incels, don't follow that path. You better than this. I know you guys are better than this. And men, y'all better than this. Yes, I know it's frustration to talk to girls. But I'll get better and better, and that's all you need to do. Hell, if you have mommy issues, I'm sorry you hear that. If you have sister issues, I'm sorry you hear that. I had sisters, with me and my sister always had good times to talk to each other every time, even though we're debating each other despite of it. But there's one fact that we all need to know. Men and women are not equal. I'm sorry, but it's not. I mean, you can love, but the reality fact of it is, we're not equal. But that's the beauty of it. But not trying to like destroy each other or anything else. Try to be better. That's what we're doing it. We need to stop doing this to yourselves. And this is an era we need to be better. Because this is way out of the hand. And I'm telling the truth. Alright. This is Juice Monster 88 signing out. Thank you for listening. And guys, don't ever lose hope. The things that they've done out there, they're cowardly out because they can't do the things they chose to. They chose that path, and I don't want you to chose that path. Y'all better than that. I know you've been saying it, and I've been saying that a lot of times, but I have to say that to save you guys, because I know what's like. Have somebody else with you and show how much love you have. And be grateful for what you had too. Sometimes you don't know how to be grateful. You don't know how to appreciate life. And that's something we have to learn. And as individuals, as people. That's what I'm going to say. Juice Monster 88, signing out.